Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ainin Sofiya binti Muhammad Rozaini. My mentoring number D20211099461, and I'm from Group F. I will present about summarization from assignment 1. So for these assignments, we have 5 topics of all, which are topic 1, computer crime and security, topic 2, intellectual property, and topic 3, privacy and surveillance, topic 4, computer reliability, and topic 5, we have professional ethics. And without wasting time, let's restart with topic 1, which is computer crime and security. First of all, what is computer crime and security actually? Computer crime or cybercrime can be defined as the intelligent way of stealing, using, deleting, and doing all sorts of alteration without the proper admin permission. Meanwhile, security can be defined as an extra and over the normal way of getting rid of the illegal and unsecure cyber attacks. There are different types of computer crime such as financial crime, cyber theft, data diddling, hacking, stalking, squatting, email crime, denial of services or DOS, cyber terrorism, identity theft, cyber pornography, and malicious code. In this topic, we are focusing more on cyber stalking. So what is cyber stalking actually? Cyber stalking can be defined as the use of the internet, email, or other electronic communication devices to stalk another person. Cyber stalking, also known as an extension of cyberbullying and in-person stalking, can take the form of emails, text messages, social media posts, and more, and is often methodical, deliberate, and persistent. And impacts of victims such as victim could receive an excessive number of messages, receive inappropriate messages like all of the previous posts on social media, get tricked into communicating with them online or engage in trolling, and victim used for doxing, GPS tracking, threatening communications, online impersonation, and catfishing. And there are a few examples of cyber stalking such as involve posting obscene, disrespectful, or provocative remarks online, joining the same groups and forums, sending lewd messages, controlling or threatening emails to the target, using technology to blackmail or threaten target, tagging target in posts frequently even when they have nothing to do with them, or liking everything the target posts online, and many other tricks can be used to follow the target online. Cyber stalking, like traditional stalking, can have a variety of negative psychological and physical effects on the target. For example, it's normal for people who are harassed online to feel confused, afraid, and angry. Also, the targets or the victims could be experiencing difficulty sleeping or even stomach issues. And also, the victims or the targets could suffer from sadness, worry, and discomfort. And also, or might be the targets or the victim can have a suicidal thoughts or post-traumatic stress disorder. On top of that, there are several precautions that we can take to avoid from cyber stalking, such as make strong passwords first and foremost, make a note on our phones to switch out our passwords on a frequent basis, always be sure to log out, monitor our electronic devices, avoid utilizing free public Wi-Fi, buy a VPN, and most importantly, adopt safe internet practices. Prioritize keeping our postings private and only accepting friend requests from people we know. And last but not least, try to establish a single email account for our internet activities. Now we are moving to topic 2, which is intellectual property. For this topic, we will use Intellectual Property Corporation of Malaysia or my IPO website to explore more about intellectual property. So how to use it? Let's discover together. First, go to Intellectual Property Corporation of Malaysia MyIPO website www.myipowebsite.gov.my. Then choose IP Online Search and Filling. Click on Registration and select for individual. After that, click on Becoming a Registered User. And now we move to step 1 section, which displays on the screen right now. Select the option which best describes you. So for this section, just choose I do not have an activation code and submit it. And next, we move to step 2 section, which display right now, create your private profile. So for this section, just fill all the required data such as username, email, password, etc. and submit it. And same goes to step 3 section, which is create your public profile. So same goes to this section, fill all the required data and submit it. Then after all done, your desktop would be displayed like this. From here, we can see the variety of intellectual property or IP that we can choose to register for our product. There are trademark, patent, geographical indication, copyright, industrial design, and etc. But in this situation, I need to choose patent to register my software company. Then click on Apply for a National Patent Form 1. After that, fill all the information required and make sure all the information filled with carefully and click Save to save the data of the record. Finally, submit the data and wait for the approval. So that's all for the topic 2. Now we move to topic 3, which is privacy and surveillance. So what is surveillance actually? Surveillance can be defined as an ubiquitous organizational practice that impacts individual trajectories and social stratification. Surveillance is the close monitoring of a person's behavior or activities to gather information about them which can be used to influence or manage decision making. There are variety methods of surveillance such as physical surveillance, electronic surveillance, computer surveillance, social media surveillance, financial surveillance, and biometric surveillance. And there are many examples of surveillance such as CCTV cameras, internet monitoring, phone surveillance, drone surveillance, biometric monitoring, traffic monitoring, staff observation, retail surveillance, health observation, and financial surveillance. Next, we move to example scenario of privacy and surveillance. The first one is monitoring employee computer activity. Employers must first install monitoring software on the computers used for business. Software like Pareto, Terramine, ActiveTrack, and HubStuff. Through the use of monitoring software, employers are able to log every keystroke that an employee makes. Companies have the ability to periodically screenshot their employees' computer displays so that they later evaluate what the employee was working on at a particular moment. Employers can also monitor which websites and applications are utilized for how long and when. Employers can also use email monitoring to go through incoming and outgoing emails for particular terms or phrases that could point to a security breach or policy infraction. Employers can also keep an eye on files that are downloaded or uploaded, including those that are moved into external storage devices, to make sure that private information is not treated improperly. Companies also can monitor employee time logs, both active and idle, to determine how much time is spent on work and how much time is spent offline. Second is government spy on its citizens. The government uses a variety of surveillance techniques such as the PRISM program. Internet communications from different US internet corporations are collected as part of the PRISM program. Direct data requests from large internet corporations such as Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and Apple are available to the NSA. Emails, chat messages, save data, voice calls, photographs, videos, and file transfers, and social network information are all included in this data. Collection upstream. The term upstream collection describes the NSA's capacity to eavesdrop on phone and internet communications as they pass through the internet's physical infrastructure. By connecting to the fiber optic cables that form the internet's backbone, the NSA is able to intercept enormous volumes of data as it travels throughout the network. Emails and other online communications can fall under this category. Telephony metadata collection comes last. Millions of Americans' phone calls gathered metadata to the NSA. Information like the phone numbers used, the length of the call, and the time it was made are all included in the metadata. Even while the actual chat content is not included, this can nevertheless provide valuable insights into people's social networks and behavior. So, based on example scenario just now, we know that surveillance can be categorized as an ethical issue. But how is surveillance can be an ethical issue? Surveillance is an ethical issue due to the risk of privacy infringement and erosion, and the need of ethical solution to minimize this risk. It is as a result of a privacy infringement. Monitoring people without their permission is a common practice in surveillance, which is considered a breach of their right to privacy. This is especially troubling when it comes to the collection and storage of private sensitive data. Furthermore, there is a lack of accountability and transparency when surveillance activities are frequently carried out without public awareness or secretly. Informed consent is also absent from surveillance. People are frequently unaware of the scope and intent of surveillance. There is less ethical support for surveillance in the absence of informed consent. And next, we move to topic 4, which is computer reliability. Why reliability in computer system is important? In computer systems, reliability is important because it helps preserve confidence. A system reliability can be compared to a promise it makes to its consumers. Users gain confidence in a system when it reliably fulfills its promises and functions as intended. For users to continue depending on the system and its services, this trust is necessary. Next, let's see some case study or example that resulted of computer is not reliable. One of the examples where computers have proven to be unreliable, failures in air traffic control. In 1989, a significant failure in air traffic control or ATC systems highlighted the potential dangers of technological malfunctions in managing aviation traffic. On May 8, 1989, at the Los Angeles Air Road Traffic Control Center (ARTCC), there were 104 recorded malfunctions in a single day. Such malfunctions carry a high danger of disrupting aviation travel. These illustrations highlight the necessity of comprehensive documentation, rigorous testing, and ongoing development in software development to increase reliability. These failures pose serious risks to aviation safety. as air traffic controllers rely heavily on sophisticated systems to track and guide aircraft through various phases of their flight. Next, we'll continue with mobile phone vulnerability between the era of Nokia or BlackBerry versus the current time that uses Android or Apple mobile phone. We go with Nokia and BlackBerry era first. For Nokia, in the past, Nokia dominated the mobile phone industry. Their phones were renowned for their dependability, lengthy battery life, and simple design. Nokia's feature phones such as the well-known Nokia 3310 were renowned for their dependability and were virtually unbreakable. But Nokia found it difficult to adjust to the smartphone era, particularly as touchscreen devices become more and more common. Meanwhile, for BlackBerry, business communication was synonymous with BlackBerry phones. They provided strong security features, physical keyboards, and well-known BlackBerry Messenger or BBM. BlackBerry handsets were the go-to tool for productivity, email, and messaging among many professionals. But when Android and Apple's iPhone devices upended the industry with their touchscreens and app stores, BlackBerry's demise started. Meanwhile, in current Android and Apple phones, for Android, the Android operating system powers the majority of smartphones sold worldwide. They have a large range of functions and are available at different pricing points. While some Android devices are dependable and well-made, others could have slower updates, fragmented software, and sporadic bugs. Reliability might differ widely due to the wide range of manufacturers and models. Meanwhile, for Apple, Apple's iOS, which powers iPhones, is renowned for its flawless hardware and software integration. Because Apple maintains control over both, users receive a consistent experience. Strong security features, frequent updates, and overall good performance categorize iPhone. They are typically more costly than Android phones though. While some users find it restrictively, others value the ecosystem and dependability. And last but not least, overall assessment. For the past era, through Android and Apple currently control the majority of the smartphone market. Nokia and BlackBerry had their heyday. These days, reliability is determined by personal preference, brand loyalty, and the particular device selected. Meanwhile, for current era, although there are many alternatives available on Android phones, the models and manufacturers can have different levels of trustworthiness. Although uh, although Apple iPhones are generally dependable, consumers must assess whether the ecosystem and premium experience are worth it. And now we move to the final topic, which is topic 5, professional ethics. So, for this topic, I will summarize the professional code of ethics of a software engineer who developed the MySejahtera mobile app on the 8 principles identify morally responsible relationship with selected 4 principles, which are public, client and employer, product, and judgment. First, we go to public. So, what is a principle of public actually? The public interest should guide the actions of software engineers. Meanwhile, how the public utilizing MySejahtera in aspect health and safety, considering that the MySejahtera app is involved in the management of the COVID-19 epidemic. The software engineer has an obligation to make sure that the app supports public health and safety. As part of this, timely updates and accurate data reporting are guaranteed. Meanwhile, in privacy aspect, The engineer is responsible for safeguarding user privacy by putting strong security mechanisms in place to secure sensitive health data and stop illegal access. And lastly, in transparency aspect, it's critical to communicate with the public in a clear and open manner about the app's goal and how their data is handled. This promotes informed consent and fosters a culture of trust. Second is client and employer. So, about the principle of client and employer, software developers should behave in a way that serves the public interest while also serving the needs of their clients and employers. And how client and employer utilizing MySejahtera in aspect quality and dependability, the engineer must provide an excellent, dependable and effective app that satisfies the needs of the Malaysian government or the client and successfully serves the general public. In aspect confidentiality, it is essential to protect the privacy of sensitive data and proprietary information that the client, the Malaysian government shares. And lastly, in aspect alignment with goals, ensuring while maintaining ethical standards, the app complies with the government's aims and objectives, such as tracking vaccinations and managing pandemic. Next, the third one is product. So what is the principle of your product? It is responsibility of software engineers to guarantee that their creations and any associated alterations adhere to the highest levels of professionalism. So how the product utilizing MySejahtera? In aspect performance and safety, the app needs to be created and kept up to the strictest requirements possible for dependability, performance and safety. This entails following industry-based best practices for software development and conducting throughout testing. Meanwhile, in user experience, making sure the software is easy to use and accessible to a wide range of people, including those who are not very tech-savvy or have disabilities. In the meantime, continuous improvement. In order to maximize the app's efficiency, the engineer should be dedicated to making constant improvements, taking into account user input and new developments in technology. And last but not least, the judgment. So what is the principle of the judgment? When making professional decisions, software engineers should uphold independence and honesty. And how the judgment utilizing MySejahtera in objective decision-making aspect to avoid conflicts of interest or undue influence from outside sources, the engineer must base judgments on technical expertise, objective criteria, and ethical considerations. And in critical evaluation aspect, consistently assessing and challenging the app's execution and design to find and address any possible problems or biases. And lastly, in ethical considerations aspect, ensuring that ethical factors are constantly at the forefront of decision-making processes, such as user privacy and the app's potential societal impact. And it's done. So that's all for assignment 1 summarization video, which consists of 5 topics of all. Hopefully, it can helps you in your future assignments or any educational purpose. So thank you for your attention and thank you for lending your ears. Stay informed, stay aware, stay safe from cyber tricks. And see you when I see you. That's all from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye!